Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So it is May 14th here in southern Michigan, and it is food plot time. We've had some beautiful sunny weather, so things are drying out. Past couple months I've been fitting this field down, kind of getting it ready when it was dry. So today it should only be a couple hours. I got to work up about 1.5 acres. We're going to get that worked up, fitted, and then tomorrow my buddy has a 2-row corn planter, and we're gonna plant this whole 1.5 acres corn. So yeah, that's the game plan for today. 70 degrees, beautiful breezy day, so just gonna get out and enjoy it and follow along. Just did the first round of disking, and I think I'm gonna do it one more time. As you can see, just a little bit more finer dirt over here. This is kind of more what I'm looking for. It's disked up pretty good, and you can see over here just a little bit bigger clumps. So take me about 20 minutes, maybe a half hour, get the rest of this worked up. And then I think I'm going to call a packet at the end just to compress it a little bit before we get the planter in here and start planting. So just wanted to give you guys kind of a rundown on how I like to plant my food plots. So I don't do any spraying prior to doing this, because how I plant my stuff, I'm working the ground all the time up to that point. So every time you work the ground, you're germinating those new weed seeds that are already in the ground, that have been dormant in the ground. So what I like to do and what works best for me is I'll come in here and I'll work this a couple times through the spring, keep the weeds down, kind of break everything up a little bit, not overworking it by no means. And then I'll come in, and usually I'm planting either Roundup Ready soybeans or Roundup Ready corn. Come in the day before I plant, work it like I'm doing now, fit it all down. I'll get the corn planted, and then usually, just depends how the corn comes up, I like to come in, usually it's around that 6 to 8 weeks, maybe 10 weeks, and like for the corn, I'll top dress the corn with urea and maybe some triple 19. I already did a soil test and I'm pretty good on all my stuff, but I like to give it that urea as it's starting to come up, kind of give it that little bit of a boost. And then whenever the weeds start to really start coming up, I like the weeds to come up and start getting somewhat lush, and then I'll come in and I'll spray the weeds. And being that it's Roundup Ready corn, it doesn't hurt the corn, but then once them weeds are sprayed, they're knocked out. Once that corn gets tall, I don't have nothing to worry about. So that seems to work best for me. I know a lot of guys, especially if they're not doing Roundup Ready corn or beans, and I would do that myself, they come in and spray it a couple times prior to planting. But if I'm planting stuff that's already Roundup Ready, I'm not spraying beforehand, because I've just learned I'm having weed competition regardless after I'm planting. So let my stuff come up, hit it with the Roundup after it's already up, and I don't have nothing to worry about. So just wanted to run through that, and yeah, it's going pretty good. So while we're on the topic of talking about the food plots, a lot of buddies and just people in general always ask me, well, why you plant this or that? And here in southern Michigan, it's there's a lot of crop fields. I mean probably around our woods is probably, I don't know, 100 some acres, and then there's like 600-700 acres of crop fields around it. So the deer have plenty to eat down this way. But what I've found is, obviously the clovers are big down here, and then the soybeans for me haven't been a huge draw. The deer will eat them, especially in late season, because that's the only thing up. But when I have corn up, it is by far the biggest draw. Whether that being the corn itself, or down here in southern Michigan, it's pretty heavy pressure. There's a lot of hunters, so they might feel pretty comfortable once they're in that corn, feeding through the evening and stuff like that. But what I'm going to try to do this year is, like I said, this is a little over 1.5 acres, and once the corn comes up, probably closer to gun season, I'm going to bring the brush hog with the tractor in, and I'm going to brush hog the center out. So when we're hunting out of the bank splined up here, I can look down into the food plot, look over them standing rows into that area that I'm going to be mowing. Just for some trial and error stuff, see if the deer prefer to be in the middle of all that corn, or if they prefer to be in the corn when they're feeding. So I'll keep you updated on that, but just wanted to touch on them couple things while we were talking about the food plots. Alright guys, so we're back at the food plot today and made a pretty rookie mistake. So we came here and we started planting. About halfway through, was when we were planting corn. About halfway through, we noticed we were going through a ridiculous amount of seed. Well, come to find out, we had the bean plates in instead of the corn plates. So we went through a lot of corn. I don't know how it's going to do, how it's going to come up, but big mistake, costly mistake. So we stopped about halfway. We were going to do the whole 1.75 acres corn. Stopped halfway, decided, since we have the bean plates in, I'm just going to go and I'm going to plant, it's probably going to be about, 1/2 to 3/4 of an acre soybeans. So we know we got the right plates in for that. So we're going to put these soybeans in here, get it calibrated right, get the depth right, and we're going to get planting the soybeans. All right, so I think I have everything calibrated about right. I pulled back some of the dirt, and as you can see, it's about 1.5 inches or so. Inch and a half. Just depends, like I said, on the dirt and stuff where you're doing it, but these are kind of all messed up because I was scuffing up the dirt, but it seems to be about every 1 or 2 inches dropping an actual seed, and then, like I said, it's about 1 inch and a half, so we should be good. Alright, so I have the main area planted, the soybeans. I'm going to try something a little bit different. In the past, when I only had 1 acre of food plot to work with, I would broadcast corn and soybeans together, and it worked really well. With the planter, these are 30-inch rows. So down this way here, I kind of planted a buffer of 6 rows of corn to kind of seclude the beans a little bit. It's going to be kind of like in its own little spot in the center of the food plot, bordered by corn. So what I think I'm going to do, I'm going to alternate the rows, so it'll be like corn, soybeans, corn, soybeans. Being that it's 30-inch rows, I'm kind of skeptical because of the sunlight it's going to let in, but it's only 6 rows, so I'm going to give it a try and see how that goes. So I'm going to get this planted. Shouldn't take long. Then I just have a little spot here to do, and should be wrapping it up for the day. All right, guys, well, that's gonna do it for today. So that's, you know, all my grains of soybeans and corn here. I planted this clover last year, and then this smaller plot, it's probably close to 1/4 of an acre. This is like all my brassicas, oats, and winter peas. That'll be this fall. So this has to be like the earliest I've ever had my food plots planted. It's May 19th, and I have both the corn and soybeans in, so real happy with that. But it looks like it's going to be dry the next week, maybe 2 weeks. So you know, it's kind of a bummer, but I'm glad to get everything in and get it done. So I'll be keeping you guys updated, you know, through the year and showing you how the food plot goes. Like I said, I don't know how the corn's going to be. That's going to be interesting. So keep you updated on that, and you know, I hope everyone's having a, you know, good food plot season. Hopefully everyone gets everything in, and we'll get looking forward to you know, this summer getting some nice bucks on camera. So as always, please like and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys on the next video.